Hello, everyone. So I'm coming on here today to speak about Aquarius season, but to also give a message to the collective. I am an Aquarius, and my birthday just passed. I just turned 31. Um, Aquarius is the energy of the collective. It is the one that is the humanitarian that just wants the best for everyone. It's the water bearer, bringing light to those around them, right? So, as an Aquarius, I have been intuitively receiving from the universe, from God, from our ancestors that I need to share this message. If I want to share this message, not really. It's a big message, and it could trigger some people if they haven't worked through their own stuff yet. It's also very, how do I explain the word? It's very powerful. So this message is going to be very powerful on a collective level. Aquarius is the first sign going into this new year, this new decade, to start the new moon cycle. We go through cycles with our energy, and some of you that know me know that I know energy best. I can really see something and see the higher perspective of it and really connect with the energy, and that's where we want to head as a society. So you'll see people making fun of people with crystals, or, being hippies in that sense, when honestly it's just energy. And what people are being drawn to and guided to is that high vibrational energy, which comes from nature. And crystals are part of nature. That's all they are. I have one in my hand, which is why I'm speaking about it. And this is actually gives off the energy of love. This is the rose quartz stone. So, and you get people making fun of it, but then those people end up opening up to it, and then they get curious. And that's because we're being guided through us. And when you follow that intuition and you get curious about it instead of judgmental, that's when you get to a next level. And that's for everyone on this whole entire plane that we're connecting with as a collective. We are all one. That's the energy of Aquarius, letting you know that we are all together in this. We are the sign of evolution. We're also the sign of doing it differently and really owning our uniqueness and bringing that uniqueness into the society together as a collective. So universe is basically asking me to own my uniqueness and share my perspective on where we're headed as a society and where we could do better. There's a lot happening right now, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are dealing with heavy energy, and that's because as a collective, we are raising up. We're leveling up. What that means is we're moving closer to love. We're getting rid of this heavy energy, and to be able to get rid of the heavy energy, we need to feel it. So it almost looks like as if the earth is ending, or like things are happening that are making us feel horrible, and we're just gonna head in a really bad direction, and all of life is gonna end as we know it, right? But really, the way I see it is, our grid system is breaking down. We are shifting into a new way of being. So by doing that, we need to break it all down first to recreate. So we break it down to rebuild. Think about blocks as children. You build up the blocks, right? Break it down, start new. So for us to do that, we really need to work through our emotions. Like, this is all connected, you guys. Like, this is energy itself. So if you want to see something change over there, and like something outside of you, something inside of you needs to change also. And most of us are still in the process of only focusing on our outer world. And by doing that, you're really doing a disservice to yourself and everybody else in the collective. So I want to bring this up right now, mostly because there's a lot happening. So think about what we're going through for, presidential, elections. We're having this impeachment. We also have this virus going around. We also have, there's just a lot happening. There's a lot of rallies. We also have this vaccine mandation going on, right? So what I do is I sit with everything that I see and I feel into it. I see what it brings up within me. I don't focus on, the right or wrong with it, necessarily. I see where, a higher perspective of it. How is it helping society? How is it helping us individually? And what I do know, and this is through me and each of us, what we want. We want to be heard. We want to be considered. We want to be free. We want to be in integrity, and we want others to be in integrity. We want peace, right? So these are all, we want love. So these are all the things that we are looking to move into as a society. Now, when you think of, where certain things are like headed for us, and you focus on how something makes you feel, you can really see if that's aligned where we want to go. So as a collective, what I know through energy is that we have mastered the masculine energy. As a being, and anything on earth, we're meant to be a balance of masculine and a balance of feminine energy. As a society, we have really mastered the masculine energy. What does that mean? The physical world, working, that ego. So we've mastered that. And you could see through Trump, for example, as him being a representation of our collective, how we've mastered that. Now, when there's judgment around it, that is something for you to work through. His ego that he speaks through, you can even think about how this impeachment, they're just trying to show where he's wrong, right? And I think that is not being in integrity. I think that you should be in integrity and focus on the other person's rightness, not their wrongness. Because when you do that, we're just going back into that negative mindset. How are we going to unify if we're so focused on everybody else's wrongness? We can't do that. There's no way. So when I see this impeachment, they're just focusing on his wrongness. So what I do is instead I go to the people that support him and ask them why they support him. That doesn't mean you have to necessarily go for the white supremacists that support him. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the everyday person that's afraid to share that they support him because they get ridiculed, they get judged. And this happens on every level. We're all so separate. How did we get here? How can we come together to make and create a new society, a new earth, a new collective that works for all of us, so that we are all separate right now. How are we going to come back together? And that's by understanding each other. So first, you need to understand yourself. You don't need anybody else to understand you but you. Then you look to understand others. Don't worry about if they understand you. That part's not going to get you anywhere. But if you want to understand why people feel a certain way they do. Now, I understand. So Trump, he's all about freedom. He's about power. We should be in our power. We should feel comfortable in our power. Where he could do it better is not through fear, but through love. So this is the feminine energy we need to bring into our society. That doesn't mean feminist and man-hating and talking about the white man being horrible. Our white men and our men in general are the most suppressed because they haven't been accepted to express their emotions. So now their suppression's coming in, and we're just doing the blame and the blame and shame game, and that's not helping anyone at all. Blaming others for what's occurring, blaming, oh, okay, so, the majority popular vote is all about, Democrats. Okay, that's fine, but where's that coming from? We need to talk about all of us. It doesn't matter who's better, who's worse. That doesn't matter, because everybody has their own perspective, and everyone is entitled to their own uniqueness and why they feel like they are right. Okay? So this isn't about you sharing why you're right and they're wrong. This is about sharing why they're right and you're also right. And that's how we're going to come together. So this is where we need to reflect over. If things are coming up, for example, where you're feeling fear, okay? Fear's a big one. Fear. We have this virus coming out, right? putting more fear. Why are they doing that to us? Why are they trying to put us in fear? Why? I don't know. Maybe there's a situation behind it. Why are we hiding things? I don't think that's out of integrity. So what I mean by that is people will share about, oh, there's, natural remedies that we've been working with for thousands of years that can help anything that helps your health and will help you, in any situation. But why are we censoring that? There's something behind that I don't really understand. If it's for good, why would we censor the good? And there's a lot of people out there that are still living in power. How do I get into this to even make sense? Okay, so for me, a lot of us are still conditioned on our same habits, our daily habits. We get up in the morning, we have a coffee, we add sugar, we have all these things, we have a bagel, right? So this is our morning routine. Just continue out of habit. It's mindless. It's on autopilot. How I do it differently is I work and I focus and I prioritize my mental health, my emotional health, and my physical health. We get up, we go to work. We make our work our priority. We make our, anything outside of us our priority without first making sure this is okay. Our hearts are okay. Our minds are okay. That needs to come first. And if you feel guilty for that, that is something to work through and to show you that society has conditioned us to be that way, to feel guilty, to feel shameful for putting ourselves first, for speaking our truth like I'm doing right now. I did not want to speak out. I did not want to speak this out. Why? Because I knew that a ton of energy can come back at me, and people that are still living in their traumas could project it onto me. But I was told that I'm safe and I'm protected to share myself, and that it will get through to the people that need to hear it. So that's what I'm talking about. Why is there censorship? Why are we saying that it's okay to mandate vaccines and that's the way to do it and that's the only way we're going to be protected? Isn't that their fear? Isn't that their fear as if we're not enough and we're not already perfect and our immune system wasn't built enough? Isn't that what that's saying? Isn't that saying that let's disregard the people that are speaking out and saying that, they've been injured? Let's just shut them out instead of trying to once again understand the other side and see where the truth is there. And they're right. Why can't we, if we're going to use vaccines and it's the right way to handle things, why can't we be in more integrity and speak about them? Why do we keep fear-mongering? Why do we keep pushing? Why do we keep saying this is the right way? If you're not going to do it, you're stupid. Why is this happening? And it's because we've been conditioned to be separate from each other and to focus on defending our own selves and our own fears that come up through survival mode, as if that's going to break down our truth if we don't open ourselves up to the other side. Why can't we do that? Why can't we open ourselves up? Why are we so guarded as to this is the way, this is the only way, when if we come together, we could do it better together? It's the same thing on the other side. Those people that are living a reality where their children have been vaccine injured, or know people that have, and they're also afraid to, put any, because they don't understand it. And that's what I'm talking about, integrity. Instead of fear, we need to find love. There's a path to love that we can do better with. If you want to keep vaccines and you feel like that is right, that's a freedom for you. But I do think that coming from the other side, it would be best if we can come together and say, okay, here's the vaccine, here's the risks, here's the, whatever, the benefits to it, sorry. Here you go. As an individual, which we each are, you can make a choice if you want this for you. And I trust in the fact that God has created us to love each other, and that you're not going to make me sick and I'm not going to make you sick. We're already whole. And we're fine. We're safe and protected. Like, we are living in this fear of the unknown as if something outside of us can hurt us. And that's what's being blasted everywhere, if you think about it. Where else are we being in fear? That the same thing with the virus, that's what I was talking about. And then to say that there is no other cure, the vaccine's the only way. Why? Also, I want to talk about how, people, for example, 5G that's about to come out. People, are free thinkers, and that's okay. And we're, as a society, we're being asked not to be free thinkers, and if we are, we're ridiculed for it. But those that want to make sure it's safe and they have questions about it, why are they being judged rather than, the other side acting in integrity, saying, okay, I understand your concerns, and making the health of the people our number one, all people, not half the people, not some of the people, not based on your own agendas. Making sure they're safe. We are individuals. We are also one, but individually, things affect us differently than others. So if you're really for the people, you will make sure that each person is heard, each person is recognized, and each person is valid. So, that's just another example of what we're moving into. And I just see judgment and ridicule instead of being like, I hear you. I'm going to reflect over that instead of act out of my conditioning and my defenses. I'm going to actually reflect over how that makes me feel when you bring that up, and I'm going to work through it myself. And I am listening. We have to do more listening than speaking. And those that are not confident enough in their speaking need to do more speaking. And inside yourself what that is. So basically, shut up. Let other people speak their truth. But also be confident enough to speak your truth, because you deserve to be heard as well. Another thing I have to say that just came through me and just went right out. I'll get back to that in a second. I'm sorry, I have a little cough. And I think that is because the universe is asking me to speak. And as energy, I have a blockage somewhat, basically not feeling 100% and expressing my truth. Like I said, I really didn't want to do this, but I'm doing it because I feel guided to. So the universe is showing me where I need to open myself up around it. That's how I see energy. I see it all connected. I see it all purposeful. I see it all intentional, everything. Even like Trump headed in presidency, that is so purposeful. There's a reason. Pay attention. Stop trying to control. So release that control, try to understand, and look past those things. So if you're so focused on his ego and those surface things that you see, and it is hurting you in here, that is for you to work through and say, why am I feeling this way? Why is this bringing up in me? And as a collective, we're all feeling similar feelings. And then go to someone who supports the person and say, okay, why do you feel like he's right? Can I listen and really try to understand why you think he's right? And because we're all technically right, and we can all come together in this accumulation to create a beautiful society if we allow each other to be heard, instead of debating and trying to one up the other person. Like, that does not do anything for us anymore. We need to release that, and we need to stop. So this is about choosing love over fear, choosing peace and freedom over control. Republicans, they want freedom. The way I see Democrats is Democrats are, that's the gun control thing. They're in fear because we have been, this is another thing I was going to bring up. We have been shown that there needs to be control through media outlets. And now that's bringing up others' fears. So people want to control that. Controlling is not going to do anything. We need to come up with solutions that allow us to be in freedom and better as a society. I was going to bring up, this is another thing, why there's so much human sex trafficking going on. why is this not one of the top stories in the news? Why is this another thing being censored? And this is where I question certain things that I don't think as a society we're being in integrity enough. We're not taking ownership enough where those real issues are occurring. And we just need to, we need to start being enough as we are, but then being confident and using that within us to voice the things and not hiding it anymore. And I feel like if we really want to recreate society, we have to make sure that we are doing everything in integrity as an individual, and then to bring it into the collective. If we're not focusing on what we're doing and we're just focusing on how they're doing, how can we shift that? We can't, because you can't control someone outside of you. The only person you can control is yourself. And when your energy is in that integrity, you're basically spreading it throughout the collective, which essentially will move into that space when we're ready. Choosing integrity over being right, and choosing gentleness as your power, choosing that love, not to fear, not to, scare. We are done with the fear. We're ready to bring in more compassion, more kindness, more love, which is where I feel like the Democrats are right. We have this power side and the Republican side as we are free, we deserve our rights, we're going to stand up for that. They're right in that, for sure. We all deserve our rights. We do not need to be controlled. We all work hard for the things that we need and want. We deserve to have those things. And we also deserve to be able to give freely. The only people that's going to affect, if you're not giving freely, it's going to affect that person. But allow others to choose to give freely. It's that right of choice that I think the Republicans are in integrity on. That right of choice, that right of freedom. As God, we are free, we are protected, we, are in our power. That is that masculine energy side. Then we come from the Democrats, where they're not right in some things. And I could tell you straight up, like, there's, for them, it's around, oh, well, that control. We should mandate vaccines. We should, have gun control. We should, anything around control is where we need to release. We need to have more freedom. So that's where they're right is bringing in more environmental awareness. Now, I want to bring up climate change. There's nothing happening with that. That's not a thing. That's just bringing in more fear for us down here to do better, which we should love the earth. We should do better as a society and move into and create better ways to be more sustainable. That doesn't mean to create fear as if something big's going to happen and we're all going to die and all these things. That's bringing someone so down in their frequency that's not allowing us to shift as a society into a higher frequency that all is well. We're all, evolving together. And we're all going to treat ourselves better, the earth better, and others better. That's where we should be focusing on, not the fear that we're about to kill our earth, blah, 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 blah. That's not going to do anything. There's awareness that we could do better. And that shouldn't be coming necessarily through us only. It should be coming from the top to those top people. And my question is, are they telling us that there's climate change so we feel like we need to do something about it and we could just not have to have them in integrity and not have them, stop using plastic, doing more sustainable ways of being? That's where we should be. Are you being in integrity around that? So, but then there's the Democrat side where it's bringing in more love and kindness and, treating others all equally. Like, we should be treating all of each other and respecting our individuality. But a lot of us are still in our wounds and our traumas, and that's coming from both sides. So until we can find that path that's balanced, it's going to take some time. So focus on keeping yourself balanced and helping those around you be balanced, so then it can come into our collective, into our own society. So think of how that looks like for you. What would you like to see in society based on integrity, based on love, based on happiness and joy, based on truth and compassion? Truth, this is the truth. It's not necessarily my truth or your truth. It's the truth. There's a truth that works for everyone, that we can find, that we can come together and unify through. Forgiveness is not only letting go of judgment, but also seeing through the illusion that you and all that is are separate. Look about you and inside of you and do your best to love whatever you see. So try your best to anything that is separate from you. If I brought anything in here that triggered you in some ways and you don't see love and you see more, turmoil that's coming up, try to see where the love is coming from. Try to see that through everyone, and that's going to help all of us ascend and move into and evolve and be in integrity. Stop living in that fear. Stop feeling like everything's falling apart. Reflect over that. Why is that coming up for you? How is society conditioning us, distracting us, using, like entertainment to help us feel fulfilled and to distract us to our thoughts and the real things going on? We don't need that anymore. We need to be facing our thoughts. We need to be facing those feelings. We've created this society where everyone's distracted. Everyone's addicted to something outside of them, whether it's a phone, whether it's food, whether it's drugs, whether it's relationships, our power, whether it's food. I said food, work. It's giving our power away to everything outside of us. It's distracting us from us. So reflect over that. See where you're still acting on autopilot. See where you're still allowing those conditioning thoughts that are brainwashing us, essentially. If you're not free thinking and you're listening to these advertisements, these movies, these agendas, if you're really listening to them and you're not free thinking, it's time to go inward and stop all of that and allow yourself to really think for yourself and what it is you want to see. You want those loved ones to be happy. You want you to be happy. You want society to be happy. You want us thriving. We are thriving in many ways, and we're also not in many ways. Pick your focus. Instead of focused on how shitty it is, come up with solutions as to how we can fix that. But then also see how it's working. And that's how it comes together. It's working here. It's not working here. Let's raise this up and continue this and bring it together, because it is working for a lot of people and it's also not working for a lot of people. But it all comes with your mindset and really focusing on seeing the truth, seeing what's in integrity, like I said, seeing through love and how everybody, even though we're individuals, we all want the same thing. We want to be heard. We want to be loved. We want to be accepted. You want to be acknowledged for the hard work that we do. And we also project our triggers, project our hurt, project our traumas onto the other people around us. Those are the people we are giving our hurts to. We're projecting onto. Why? Because they're a safe space, and we also do not how to work through those things through us. Because like I said, we're attached to everything outside of us. So we project outside of us. Okay? So now paying attention to those projections and coming back in here and seeing how you can work through that without projecting, having a balanced conversation, working through your feelings. Don't make decisions out of your feelings. Do not make emotional decisions. That is not a balanced decision. That is not a wise decision. That is a emotional, fluid decision that is not out of integrity. It's not out of the truth. It is just a feeling that is passing by and moving through you. Making a decision, breaking up with someone out of an emotion. That's not going to work because your emotions change. They're fluid. They move in and out. Do it from a balanced state, from a grounded state. Get yourself grounded first. You want to vote this year? Get yourself grounded first. You want to decide if mandating vaccines are right? Get yourself grounded first. If you're in fear saying we need to mandate vaccines because I feel like that's right, or I think vaccines need to go completely because I think they're wrong, that's all out of emotion and not in truth. So try to come back to this space, feel into it, let the emotions flow through until there's a clarity. And for each of us, that's how we can really move into and evolve on a higher level, and to really see the love and light that we all share within us that nobody is without. But thank you for allowing me to share this message. I hope it came through, and you understand where we really need to be focusing. It's not against each other anymore. It's with each other. And we're better together. We all want joy. We all want happiness. We all want the generations below us to be in peace, to be happy, to be free. Listen to the moms. I'm telling you, the moms are very wise because they're focused on where we want to go because of the children we have below us. The moms are the ones that really need society to go into a better direction. Dads too. Dads really know how to hold that masculine energy, to be that support. They're already standing in the truth of where we are that is working for us. Focus on the families. Focus on your own family. Focus on you. These little internal networks is how we're going to really see where we want to head as a society. Don't focus so far outside of yourself first. Come here and know what's right here and within your group, then bring that into society. Stop bringing your traumas into society. Feminists are still in their traumas. Not that they're wrong. We're not going to focus on their wrongness, but we have to do it through love. So their rightness is where we need to focus. Their wrongness is where there's also trauma coming from the other side. So this is a lot to take in. It's a totally different perspective than you're probably used to, but I shared it. I'm strong and I got it out there, and I'm taking a leap of faith here that this is received and understood. I don't feel like there's anything else I need to say, but keep focusing on you. Love yourself. Love those around you. Love those that you don't agree with. Love them. Understand them. Look beneath the surface. There's surface level. Don't take that as the full story. It's deeper than that. And this is where we need to really work on going deeper. Stop focusing for surface level. It's not doing anything for us anymore. So I love you all. Sending love and light, happiness, release, and all those heavy emotions for all of you. And I really hope that you could start doing better for yourself and for those around you, and really treating those how you want to be treated. And forgiveness is essential, because all you're doing is holding on to energy that's no longer working for us. Treat every day like a new experience, a new day, and be in gratitude for the blessings you have, because we all have blessings. Every single one of us has blessings. Focus on that. We will move into more blessings, more abundance, and more truth. Okay, bye.